You're listening to Guitar Talk with Dave and John.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to Guitar Talk. I'm Dave.
And I am John. What is happening?
Yes, folks, it was a holiday week. We had the 4th of July. Did you play anywhere on the 4th?
On the 6th.
That's right. You went up on the 4th, I believe. You went up to Big Bear?
I did. And holy smokes, let me tell you, that earthquake that happened in Ridgecrest out here that measured 7.1, we were staying in Big Bear, which is about 100 miles south of that. And the cabin we were staying in is like on the side of a hill thing. And so the entire front half of the house is on stilts.
We're you like, oh.
Or to do the
you started sliding down the mountain.
It was the old Star Trek trick. We were all
right.
Oh.
That's when you're supposed to plug in your guitar and go, coming down the mountain. Oh,
man. Yeah, it was a little scary for about 30 seconds. It was rolling.
Yeah.
It was like, good Lord. And yeah, that was about it.
Was it a rolling quake or was it a violent one?
I don't know the difference.
Well, the deeper quakes, it's like it almost feels like it's like a rolly feeling, like it goes on for a while and you feel like. And then there's the ones where it shakes and you hear bangs everywhere because you hear stress cracks and all that happening.
No, it was rolling.
Oh, okay, so it's a deeper.
Yeah. It was, but it was pretty gnarly. But
oh yeah, they're both fun.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, we did that. We took the kids out on a boat.
Nice.
How about that? Yeah. Kaylee caught her first fish.
Wow.
Yeah. How do you like that action? It was a little rainbow trout. That was fun. And she told everybody that she got her first fish. I mean, everybody. So that was a good moment. Then we did the gig in Big Bear at the Cave, which is the second time I've played on that stage. It's a big stage and it's awesome.
Oh, very cool.
Great venue. A
lot of people.
And they were all hammered drunk.
Oh, the best.
It was fantastic. Yeah, this was one of the better shows we've had in a long time. People were laughing hysterically at all the jokes. Everything sounded good because that house has a good mix.
Good.
Yeah, it was killer show.
Nice. Very good. How many people fit in that venue? Was it a full venue?
When they sell out, it's like 400 people. It's not huge.
Oh, okay. It's still decent.
Right. It's actually kind of funny though because the stage is as big as like a House of Blues stage.
Wow.
Really, really big. It's like the entire back side of the building, so it's great, but the room is wider than it is deep. I think in terms of like seating rows, it's probably like 30 rows deep at best. Probably in reality, it's like 20 rows deep.
Yeah.
And there's a standing room bar in the back that's pretty wide, but yeah, it's an interesting venue. But when we played, we opened for Metalachi. So they were the headliner for that show. Judging from crowd response, I think we owned that night though.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a big show. It was a really good move for us. Hopefully we get to play with those guys again, Because like I said, the crowd response was pretty in our favor that night.
It's great. Yeah, I mean, I just had a couple of party gigs, houses by the beach, by the water that had parties. And the second one, the one on the 4th was just, the acoustic playing. 4 hours we played for. We had a great time.
4 hour set?
Not a 4 hour set. We played for 4 hours. We played
3 sets or 4 sets?
We did it in 3 sets, but the third set was super long.
Goodness, yeah.
Yeah, but it was cool. It was fun. And then I had a good weekend just kind of relaxing. And I went and saw that movie yesterday. It's a movie where the world, like all the power goes out And then when the power comes back on, people have never heard of the Beatles, Coca-Cola, and other things. And this Indian guy in London who's a singer starts playing a song, and they're like, what
Oh,
the?
I heard about that.
Yeah, he starts playing one of the Beatles songs. They think it's his, and they're like, what are you talking about?
Oh,
Yeah, it was funny. It was a cute movie. I liked it. It was good.
Where'd you see that?
I just saw it in the local theater here.
Oh, it's in theaters right now.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that movie'd been out for a while. I feel like I heard
No,
that
it was,
story.
I think it was released sometime last month in June.
Oh, all right.
It was
all
good.
Right.
It was an enjoyable.
It's called Yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
All my troubles seem so far away. You know that song I always like when I played it as a kid, I'm always like, I always forgot how it went. Then I watched McCartney doing it live once, and I realized that the guitar is tuned down a whole step, and he's playing it like it's in G. And once I played it in G, I've never forgotten it. It's like the easiest song.
Oh,
but he tuned it a whole step down, so he's singing it in F, but it's really played like in G.
Well,
at least that's what he did live, and I like that way.
You know what's
the chords
crazy?
make more sense.
So Paul McCartney is, I think, 77 years old. Something like that.
Sounds about right. Yep, I think what's he born in 41 or 42?
I think I read 42.
Okay.
The thing that blows my mind about that is that means that he is only like 3 years older than Sammy Hagar.
Yeah.
Did you know that Sammy Hagar's that old?
Yes.
Holy hell. Yeah, it just blows my mind because you don't really think of Paul McCartney as like an 80s sort of star, and I kind of think of Sammy. I know he was out in the 70s, but I relate to him as more of an 80s kind of guy. You know, it's like seems like it's 20 years later, but he's really not.
What year was Sammy born? I would have thought Sammy. I would have given
45 or something like that.
Really? He's 10 years older than Eddie?
Well, let me look it up really quickly. I think it's 45. Google wants me to confirm that I'm leaving that page. I will confirm. Sammy Hagar. No, my bad. 47.
Okay, 47.
So 5 years younger than McCartney.
Yeah.
5 years younger than McCartney, but still, like you don't think of Sammy as being, you know, of that same age.
Sammy
range.
was like in his late 20s playing in Montrose, and Paul McCartney was a kid, was 20, playing in the Beatles when. Yeah, he was a kid.
Yeah, I guess that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Anyway, I'm way off of anything related to guitar here.
No, it's fine. I mean, it's pretty crazy though when you think about that. He's a year older than Jackson Browne. I think Jackson Browne's born in 48.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is like not a great time for music because, you know, like we lost David Bowie, and I think there's going to be a lot of people coming around that age that may not stick around. You know what I mean?
No, it's totally true.
It's going to happen. I mean,
at least young teenage girls are protected from these pedophiles. They're all dying off.
Hagar certainly looks great for his age. There's no getting around that.
He does.
There's no getting around that. So today I posted a video of my 10 favorite Kiss songs. Because...
You have 10 of them?
Yeah. I struggled to come out with... No, I actually used to be a huge Kiss fan. But the funny thing is I only had one song, well, maybe two songs that got into the 80s. And then after that, it was like everything's the first three albums.
I was born for love, or made for loving you, baby.
But I also
that's on your list.
Oh no way. I also did a 10 Devo songs, and you know, it makes you think.
Wrong. You got to do 5. It's the top 5. It's always 5.
Well, I was giving it 10 because I just wanted, when I did the Devo one, I'm sure it's a band that people only know a few songs, and I was just doing it for that way, yeah. Like Mojo does the top 5. But it's funny because that was like the first few bands that I was really into. Kiss, Devo, Foreigner. It's funny when you think back to that stuff.
See, kids, when you listen to Dave's Guitar Channel, you get twice the content. Top 10.
That's right. You're getting a top 10. But yeah, so anyways,
all right.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Give me some of them. I gotta know.
Well, I'll tell you my. I don't know if you know any. Were you ever a Kiss fan?
I mean, I play in a Kiss tribute band in a way.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's true. I would guarantee none of the.
I still don't know any of them.
No, I would say none of the songs on my list go into your list.
Okay, let's see.
That I can guarantee. Unless you guys would do Parasite. I don't think you would do Parasite. No, I would say no.
So you're guessing none.
I would say, and there's 11 in my list because number 10 was a tie.
Okay. Well, all right, give me a couple of them.
So my number 10 tie was I Love It Loud.
I want to hear it loud.
And Sure Know Something from Dynasty.
Okay, now
Those,
I want to let's see. I Love It Loud, or it's called I Love It Loud, right?
Yeah.
Is that the one that goes?
I
said, hey, yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
So
we do that in the set.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, but it literally just goes. It's Gary up on stage going, I said, hey, yeah, yeah, and then the crowd repeats it back, and he goes, all right, knock that shit off, and then we play a real song.
Oh, okay. That's one of the best songs. Stand up. You don't have to be afraid.
I like that song. I actually like that song. All right. Let's see. Anything from Rock and Roll Over?
Nothing.
Calling Dr. Love.
Yeah, nothing.
All right.
There is nothing on my list from the second 3 Kiss albums.
Okay. So that means no. What are the second 3? Rock and Roll Over,
Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, and Love Gun.
Love Gun. Okay, so it's all going to be before that. Maybe some after that too, right?
There's the 2 songs that I named.
Kill?
What's that?
Anything from Dress to Kill?
There are 3 songs on my list from Dress to Kill.
Wow. Lover All I Can?
That's number 1.
Okay. She?
No.
Okay. Let's see. Rock Bottom.
That's like number, I want to say 6 or 7 on my list. I can't remember where I had it.
All right. I don't know otherwise. What's
Anything for My Baby.
Oh, okay.
I would steal anything for my baby. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
That's funny. Hey, did you know that Yoko Ono was born in 1933?
She's older, huh?
Oh, way old. Yeah. You just can never tell because Asian women, the way they age, they just look like they're in their 20s until they're 70, and then they wake up.
Ancient Chinese secret.
They're like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, no, I didn't know she was that old. So she's, 86?
That's right. All right, let's see. Is Strutter on your list?
No.
Oh, that's too bad. I like Strutter. I think Strutter is a good one.
It's okay. There's many songs on that first album, though.
Yeah.
That's
can't be
not on my list either.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. That one's too slow. They need to bump that like 20 BPM to make it interesting.
On that album, I have Deuce is on my list. Let Me Know is on my list. And what else is on? And 100,000 Years. Those 3 are on my list.
No Black Diamond?
No. Out on the streets for a living.
Now let me change it up and ask the question this way. Is there any Peter Criss songs on your list?
No.
Okay. All right.
It doesn't mean that I don't think they're good. When you're coming up with the best 10 of their career, they don't come in.
Okay. Hotter Than Hell?
No, that's not on it, but there are songs on the album.
I know, but I'm just saying on the album Hotter Than Hell.
Oh, yeah, there's
Parasite, you said.
Yep, Parasite.
Okay.
Parasite. And honorable mention is probably number 11 on my list would have been Got to Choose, but Watching You is number 3 on my list.
Now, which one is the song about butt sex? On the first record, there's a song about butt sex on the first record. Is it Nothing to Lose? Is that the one?
Is it? I don't have no idea.
I think it is. Yeah. According to Gene Simmons, the writer of the song, admittedly, the song's lyrics chronicled the singer kind of coercing his girlfriend into trying anal sex.
Hilarious. You got nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose. Yeah, nothing. Hilarious. That I did not know.
Oh, there you go. This is a song called Butt Sex.
Yeah. You got nothing to lose. So you've seen that Gibson has posted some videos now with Mark. They're back in the swing.
I haven't had a lot of YouTube exposure this week because I was away from Thursday first thing in the morning. So
right.
What did they do? They posted some videos with Mark again?
Yeah, he was just showing off some instruments and pretending nothing happened. And then in the comments section, it's hilarious.
Everybody's
the hilarity ensues.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't know that. So it's just model information kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's playing a guitar. This is I think they released a new cheap acoustic.
Okay.
And it's some cheap acoustic, like $9.99 acoustic.
Okay. It's probably
with a dove. It is, but it has a dovetail joint, and it looks pretty good.
Probably some sort of large supply American hardwood for back and sides instead of rosewood or mahogany or anything.
Yeah, I don't think it was rosewood or mahogany. I think it was it might be walnut. In fact, I believe it is walnut.
The thing I like the most about walnut as a hardwood in a guitar is that depending on who's making it and how they want to manufacture it and market it, or not manufacture it, but just market it, some guys are going to charge you $3,500 for that and say, well, it's got this beautiful, American walnut back and sides.
Right.
Or the other guy will just be like, God, it's locally sourced, it's plentiful, it's a cheap wood, sounds great. Very funny.
Did you look it up?
No.
Oh.
I'm looking it up right now, but
yeah, that's what I meant.
The Gibson G45.
That's
the new generation of acoustic guitars. Yep, I see it right now, and I don't know what the difference is between the studio and the standard. At first glance, the standard appears to have darker wood on the fingerboard and bridge, but that's the only thing I see. Let's click on that link, folks. The G45 standard. We are getting what appears to be a rosewood or ebony. Is that rosewood or ebony? Ooh, even better. It's Rich Light. Rich Light fingerboard and bridge, which you love. Right.
I do love it.
Yeah. You can put it in the dishwasher, as Dave always
says. I want a dishwasher-safe guitar.
Uh-huh. Are they going to tell me what is on the fingerboard of this one?
Oh, I thought you just said it was Rich Light.
Yeah, I'm looking at the studio now.
Oh.
Neck, fingerboard material. Oh, walnut. Okay, so they're using walnut for all of the dark woods on the studio version. That's the $9.99 guitar. Okay, got it.
Well, and it's more expensive for the Rich Light?
It is.
Yeah, great.
$300 more.
Wow.
Yep, I'm trying to see if there's any difference otherwise in the two guitars. The binding is a different color, but it's still the same thing. It looks like pretty simple binding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell the difference otherwise.
So they made a video about that guitar, and they were talking about it like, oh, you can't get a dovetail joint on a guitar at this price point. And it's like, yeah, you can. You just can't get it with the Gibson name on the headstock.
Yeah.
Although you could have. Remember years ago when they bought that Canadian company and they were making those up in Canada?
Yeah, Garrison guitars.
Garrison, thank you. Exactly.
Yeah, I remember that. Those guitars were interesting. They had was it carbon fiber bracing on the inside?
Yeah, there was something about them.
I think the skeleton was all carbon fiber.
Yeah. But it was
plastic.
Garrison guitars, and then they were just shipping them with the Gibson headstock.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't the traditional Gibson headstock. It was the bastardized Gibson headstock.
Right. Yeah. So you knew it wasn't a real Gibson. They weren't authentic. Yes, Neo. Yes, Neo. So yeah, but it just seems like there's more horseshit being made, and it's funny. I was been talking about Fender, and so many people are like, they love to defend Fender. Oh, they're doing stuff. It was just ridiculous. Some of these comments I'm hearing, they're like, oh, they're relevant. They make all these price SKUs and every price point. I'm like, it's all the same shit.
You should see the Gibson J45 Chroma Modern. It's a $4,000 guitar, and it looks like what you'd get from Dean in an acoustic guitar, or from like a Takamine G series.
Really?
They dressed it really interesting. It's got kind of gaudy looking inlays, and it's in like a green burst. The back and sides is quilted maple. The difference here is it's probably solid quilted maple, but it's just kind of funny that they offer something that's so outside of their wheelhouse.
And not inexpensive. That's really pricey. I think Gibson's prices are out of their minds.
Yeah, some of them for sure.
Just crazy stuff.
Yeah, well, they probably have to price that one really high because they're only going to sell one.
So I played again. I wanted to bring that up to you. I played again using that Vox amp and using the Duelist pedal.
Okay, got it.
And I really, really liked the pedal. I wish the amp had more sizzle and also a little bit more balls.
Are you using that custom cabinet still? Did you try it with another cab?
No, I'm using the custom cab, but I mean, it's still, I'm pushing as much, like at the volume. I was playing with a couple of guys. One guy had a Marshall, what the hell's the model? 10. It's a JCM 800 in a 1x12 combo.
Okay.
Oh, 4010 maybe?
Okay, got it.
And then the other one was playing a Mule Skinner amp.
Who?
With 6 Mule Skinner.
I don't know it.
It's a local, it's like a down in south. This guy makes amps, and it sounded great. I think it's 4 6L6s. It had a great sound to it. But again, my Vox was struggling through it, and I could have turned up, but it just wasn't having I got to figure out what I'm going to do as far as like a small setup amp that I can go and feel good about.
Well,
it's definitely the Vox is great if I want to mic it. It's got a great sound. The sound that comes out of it's good.
Yeah. Well, it's 15 watts, which isn't, it's nothing to laugh at with tubes. That's still going to be a lot of volume, but against guys that are using something with a little more headroom, it might crap out.
But yeah, these guys also play.
Don't you have an EVH 212 cab?
I do. It's right there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's off frame for me, but.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have an EVH, and it has two of the vintage 30s.
Should try that Vox head with that cabinet. That'll probably fix your low end.
And that's an 8 ohm. Oh yeah, I could.
Is it on wheels?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that much harder than carrying around the other one.
Yeah, it's just big and clunky, but I wonder. I could also take that crank out.
You ever think about changing the nickname to the Big Clunky?
Exactly. That's every big amp. But yeah, so, I really dig, I will say that pedal is one of the few pedals that I bought where when I play it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the sound I want. You know how often that is when you buy a pedal and you're playing it and you're like, oh, this is cool. Then you get it out in the rig and you're like, yeah, it's just not exact.
All the kids in the crowd are like, "Mom, that guy's shorts are getting shorter as he plays that guitar solo. What is going on?"
I don't get it.
You know, I'm insinuating that your pedal's giving you a boner.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. This is the bad comedy portion of the program.
We'll let you know when it's good.
Yeah.
But, so what happens is it's just a really good sounding pedal. Now, it's a $350 pedal. I don't recommend everyone go out and get it. But if it's not that big of a deal to you, it's definitely a great sound. It is that Stevie Ray, that tone. I just wish the amp was a little bit more Fendery.
Here's what I want people to do. I want them all to place orders for this pedal and then cancel those orders before it ships. Hopefully he'll have an overstock of them and I can get one cheap. That's what I'm after. This is a desperate plan. A desperate
ploy.
Yeah, I just used the Z again. Same rig I used last time.
Yeah, the Dr. Z.
No,
what are you using for gain?
A BB pre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm letting the amp break up a little bit and using the BB pre to kick it.
Right. And for those that don't know, the BB pre is an exotic effects pedal modeled after the Blues Breaker.
And that's been around a long time.
Yeah.
It seems like it's one of their first one of their original pedals. They had the AC, the RC, and the BB.
That was like the main three.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had that pedal for a while.
And all three are great.
Yeah. You know what I don't know if I told you I ordered the CMAT Mods
the Brownie
pedal, which I had before, and it sounded fantastic before. I got it again, and it doesn't sound the same as the one that I had before. At least not to my ears, it doesn't. It seems like it has a lot less output, a lot less gain. Something's up with it.
Really? Did you call the guy?
I don't know if the pedal doesn't work or if the chip is different or what, but it definitely isn't. Like it doesn't have nearly the volume or the gain that the BB has, which
really
seems wrong. Yeah, there's something up with it. So it's on my board right now, but I can't use it. It just doesn't.
That sucks. And did you call the guy and say, "Hey, what's up with this pedal?"
No, not yet, because I just got to use it for 15 minutes last week before I left.
I had that issue with the Pinnacle, I thought the Pinnacle didn't have nearly the gain, and I changed to an Angry Charlie version 2, and that I loved.
Right.
And according to, I think, JHS, all those circuits are all really the BB pre. They were all the same as the Blues Breaker. They were all Blues Breaker circuits.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
So, I mean, and it's it's a good format.
Mm-hmm.
The original Blues Breaker. Like I said, I like the Angry Charlie a lot. The Pinnacle I thought stunk.
I had the Andy Timmons version of the Angry Charlie before, and that's what I replaced with the Brownie. When I got the Brownie, I was like, I like this even better. But I'm telling you, there's something off with this one that I got. This one's not right. It just doesn't have.
Yeah.
Doesn't have any
other.
The guy. Yeah, any of the.
I'm waiting for the Joe Bonamassa Angry Charlie.
Is there one?
No. And I'm not waiting for it. But I've noticed that the guy has a signature guitar. Every turn on the internet, it's like, oh, and then there's the Joe Bonamassa. Oh, you want the pickup set? Here's Joe Bonamassa's. I'm like, God, I remember when people used to have hit records and people used to have to like them before they would get them.
Yeah, we live in a weird industry for sure, or work in it, or whatever you want to say. It is weird because most of the guys that get these deals are guys that your average person on the street's never heard of. Nobody's ever going to hear Joe Bonamassa unless they intend to.
Yeah, no, but
same thing applies to, and I don't even mean this as an insult to the guy because the guy is a monster player, but like Pete Thorne. Like, who knows who Pete Thorne is that's not specifically a guitar player that really is interested in gear. Nobody does.
If you would never been on YouTube, you would never know who he was.
Right.
And that's my whole point with Joe. It seems like he is like a YouTube guy that's getting, like all these signature guitars. I mean, Gibson's got so many different signature Joe Bonamassa models. And I think YouTube's a great outlet. It's a great thing. I just think but why do you need a signature on these people? Like, you want to give Joe a guitar, give him a guitar, but are you really selling a Flying V because it's the one that it's based off Amos, the one that Joe Bonamassa found in that store? What? I don't know. I think it's all nuts. I think people are have gotten crazy with this vintage stuff, and it's like, oh, we're gonna make a 58 Flying V that Joe Bonamassa found. Well, you've been making a Flying V. You've made a couple of limited 58s. Did you forget how to make them? You had to see this fucking particular one that he says is, you know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden, we found one. We're gonna copy that one.
Yeah, you know damn well what it all is. I think everybody that cares enough to listen to this program knows what it is.
It's a smoke and mirror show.
It's all snake oil. You gotta keep the engine running over there,
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but
so there's a great video I want you to watch. It's on That Pedal Show. You don't like that show?
Their shows are too long.
Mick here. Dan here. Anyways,
our shows are too long.
But they have a guy come on that talks about the guitar, about playing it, and he brought up a couple of great points. One of the points he brings up is plug a guitar into a PA. How good does it sound?
Right.
Sounds like shit. He's like, because you're hearing, and he talks about that. What comes out of the pickups is, he describes what it does, and the whole time he's never bringing up the wood, the bridge material, the nut material.
Mm-hmm.
The guy is purely talking about what the pickups do, what it sends to the output jack, what the sound gets done when it hits the pots, what it does when it hits the capacitance of the cable, and then what the amplifier's job is. And then he was showing different things, how you can change the inductance and just different things. But it was really, really interesting that this guy was on. And I even commented on the video, I'm like, the white elephant is nobody is sitting there poo-pooing the wood and saying it has nothing to do with it. They're just talking like their way around it.
Yeah.
But you watch that show and there's like, nobody's sitting there saying, but doesn't the, he's talking about the mid-range and where the mid-range comes from. And it's very funny because I was like, wait a second, you mean Trogley's not right? We're not getting, the Carina's not giving me focused mids? But anyways, this guy really comes across like he knows his stuff, and it's a very interesting episode. I highly recommend you watch it.
Yeah. So at this last show that I played, I used the same rig that I always use, but I used my SG, which I never use. I used it instead of the white guitar that I use 99.9% of the time. And the SG has a JB in it, which is not my favorite pickup.
The John Bingham is not your favorite?
Yeah, no, I've got to get rid of that one. I'm not a big fan. But I noticed a huge difference in how the amp responded and how it sounded compared to when I used that Thornbucker in the other guitar.
Right.
I didn't notice any big significant change in like the mids or whatever, but I did notice a big difference in the gain. The amp was I had to dial the amp's overall gain knob back quite a bit to get it where it needed to be for like that edge of breakup sound that's like the basis for my sound. So that was interesting. to actually
because the
hear.
JB has a higher output than the
Yeah.
humbuckers.
Yeah, and hearing it at like concert volume, like it really makes a substantial difference, that output.
And we can go on record here noticing that I have said for years, as long as you've known me, that I think the JB sucks.
Yeah, I'm aware.
All right. Okay. Just
Yeah.
so, just wanted to get that out there, folks. You guys
Yeah.
don't know me since then, and John does, and I've been saying it forever. I do
Yeah,
not like the JB.
Yeah, it definitely hits the amp a lot harder, which causes natural compression to happen faster and clipping to happen faster. So certainly not a pickup you're going to want if you're going for a little bit more headroom. And the thing that sucks is like none of these companies are like really honest about each individual pickup model. Like, you ever notice you go to a website and they'll have their extreme models, like you go to DiMarzio, and they will tell you in their text, like, oh, you want the X2N? This one is extreme. This is a metal pickup. It is what it is. But anything else that they offer, even if it's high output, they're like, oh, this thing can do it all. You know, it can go from clean to scream. And it's like, there's an air of distruth to that, if that means anything.
But here's what I think, though. I think they're not talking to you.
Well,
they're talking to somebody that listens, especially if you go to the high output pickups by DiMarzio. They're talking to the guys who like think Dimebag's tone is like, oh, and this is going to give you a clean, Dimebag's clean. And, so that's.
Yeah, that might be the case. But I'm just saying from a guitar hobbyist perspective, if you're a guy out there thinking about getting new pickups, you can't rely on those descriptors that they put on their own websites because they're not like black and white accurate. You know what I mean? They're definitely shades of dishonesty and all of that marketing speak. And
it's misleading.
Yeah, I mean, the only ones that they do right are like the outliers, the real low output ones and the real high output ones. They generally will tell you this is why we made this pickup. But everything else that's in the middle is like, it'll do it all. It'll do everything. But like, you want a JB bridge position pickup to sound good when you're playing a clean Fender style amp. Good luck. It's not going to sound great. You're going to have to dial back your volume quite a bit. And I just find that kind of silly. I think everybody should do exactly what I like to do because I do it right. And everybody should get a low output humbucker in their bridge position, or go right to single coil. One of the two.
I'm with you.
You have an opinion.
No, but the thing is if you use a low output bridge pickup, you have a much bigger option for amplification because that guitar then can plug into a Fender, it can plug into a Marshall, Mesa. It'll sound good in anything you give it to. With high output pickups have a very limited scope of what they sound good in. And I'm not a big fan of them. And personally, I'm not a big fan of Duncan pickups. I think, in fact, the two most popular Duncan pickups, I think, are pieces of absolute garbage, which is the JB and the 59. I think the Pearly Gates is okay. It's just a little too dark for me. I think the Air Classic from DiMarzio is a nicer pickup. And I think the PAF 35th anniversary is not so good.
No, I didn't like that. I had that in that guitar before these Duncans.
I don't like it. I think the Air Classic is a good pickup. I think the Burstbucker 1s, 2s, and 3s are good pickups. And I'm a big DiMarzio Fred fan. Yeah, it's just hard finding that right pickup. And some guy said he was trying out a set of the 58, 58, 54 that I use in my Strats, and I can't wait to hear what he thinks about that setup. He says he's doing it on the blind.
It's to me it's an unbeatable combination. That's a killer pickup set.
Yeah.
It sounds authentically single coil in spite of the fact that it's hum canceling, which is great, which is, obviously that's what you want when you get hum canceling. You're not looking
Yeah.
for some pseudo fast track sort of sound.
And
I don't
each
love,
pickup position is completely usable, including the bridge by itself. When it comes to pickups, it's definitely a personal thing, because I think when you get to them on the stage and somebody has their amp set up and the pickup set, and their sound's going to be their sound. Now, not everybody's sound is, it's within a margin of whatever. There's very few times when I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, this guy's got a killer tone. That just doesn't happen all that often. Mainly because I don't really care for most of the music that people are out there playing.
Mm-hmm.
I become a crusty old man. You kids today.
Right.
But it sucks. And but that's just that, But I think you can find a decent pickup for a cheap price. I don't think you need to go to Lindy Fralin for a humbucker or Jason Lawler that people put on a unrealistic pedestal that somehow they're making magic.
Right. Well,
man, I'm not saying their stuff's
no,
crap.
I totally hear you. There's definitely a fanboy response to some of these builders. I don't know, for whatever reason, they do something right in either their artists or their product marketing, and everybody goes bananas. And
and they're expensive.
Yeah,
it's expensive stuff. I mean, what the hell does a Damasio Fred cost?
Probably maps at $79 these days, right?
Yeah, so you could get anywhere from $70 to $90.
Right.
And what does a Lindy Fralin humbucker cost?
I don't think Lindy's that out of line with DiMarzio and Duncan. It might be $10 more. Lawlers are definitely a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious about Lindy's. I'm guessing you could get a humbucker from Lindy for $100. That's my guess.
I mean, I think Gibson's even come down quite considerably on their pickups.
Well, their pickups used to be way out of line with the rest of the market. Yeah. I remember them being like $200 pickups.
$189. Yeah.
Are they still?
No, I think they're down to $120.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a lot of money, but it's certainly better. All right, so just for the sake of looking it up, I'm looking at a Lindy Fralin Modern PAF. Let's see what he's asking for these things. Oh, I was wrong. Jesus.
How much is it?
The base price looks to be $150.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little much. That's a lot for a pickup.
Yeah, I mean,
it's twice the Damasio.
Guy's got to be able to make his living and all that sort of nonsense, but yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of dough. If he's only making pickups by himself, I get him charging a little bit more money because he doesn't have the cheap labor that he can, pay people, but it's still, yeah. For the customer, it's twice the price.
Yeah. I just don't know that he makes a pickup that's better than a Burstbucker 1, 2, or 3, or DiMarzio Fred. I'm sure his stuff's better than Seymour Duncan's. I haven't heard one that I liked.
That's all right. I kind of like the Jazz, but I'm not a big fan of the JB. I like the Jazz in the neck position of that guitar.
Is it brighter?
With the
I
Jazz?
think their pickups are so dark.
The Jazz is a little brighter in the neck position. It's meant for like single note clarity sort of thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember I used to like the DiMarzio humbucker from Hell?
I do remember that.
That pickup's great in the neck position of a guitar.
Yeah.
Almost single.
In fact, I brought it up in the live show the other day because somebody was talking about the Blues Boy G&L. Okay. And I said, don't put a regular humbucker in there. Get a humbucker from Hell, because I think a regular humbucker in the neck position of a Telly is a mistake. It's an unusable, unless it's the sound. The one thing you're going with, you can't switch between the two and expect to have usable sounds.
I remember having a guitar like that with I had a DiMarzio of some sort in the neck position of that guitar, but I had to drop it all the way down to be flush with the pickguard in order for it to balance well with the bridge pickup. And I remember I had the DiMarzio area hot telly bridge in that guitar, and now that I'm thinking about it, it may have been an Air Norton in the neck or an Air Classic. Maybe an Air Classic. I think a
Sounds
Norton
about right.
would have been too hot for that guitar. But yeah, I remember having that dropped almost flush with the guard to make it balance right. So I follow what you mean.
Wasn't it a chrome covered pickup?
It was. You remember that
guitar?
Dakota
so
Red?
it was an Air Classic, because the Air Norton is the has Allen screws that doesn't have.
Yeah, so it was an Air Classic, and that
was it red?
Yeah, it was Dakota Red.
Okay, I remember the guitar.
In the middle. I had a Area 58 in the middle.
Was that the guitar you relicked?
No.
You relicked a red. Oh no, that was wine red.
Yeah,
I think cola red, whatever it was.
Yeah, Candy Cola or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't have either of those guitars anymore.
No tellies, huh?
I don't know why. Not until this G&L hits.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've had a telly.
So you ordered a G&L.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ron was great.
Nice.
Oh, that was my experience. Ron was great.
Did they let you, did you go see the blanks when you went there to look at your guitar? Did you pick up any of the blanks?
Yep, did all of it. Went through and viewed all the wood and met a whole bunch of people. Yeah, it was cool.
Nice.
And they had a German woman named Brunhilde who was forging with a hammer and an anvil all of the steel for the saddles that they were going to put on those guitars, and they're going to market them out, the G&L Brunhilde saddles. You can get them at $200 a set.
This is awful. You will wait. You will not wait.
These saddles are the ones. I got nothing.
You will use these with great precision.
These focus the mids.
Right. Unbelievable.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. Man, I got nothing this week. That's what happens when you go to Big Bear.
So this week here, I have a gig. I'm playing guitar. I got to call the guy tomorrow. Playing the guitar for this guy. It's an acoustic gig. He already sent me out the set, and I sent him back a list of songs from his set that I already know. And that'll be Saturday. That's a good gig. And then I teach all week, which I've taught today and everything else. And then next week I have a great gig, because next week I go up to New Hampshire for a day, and then I go to Rhode Island the next day for a gig.
Okay. So I have one thing happening this week I should focus on. I have my my gig with the Pork Chop Express here at the band I do with my buddy Chris and Pete and Matt.
Oh, nice.
We're doing the barbecue thing I think I told you about.
Yeah.
That's going to be on Saturday. So that's going to be 3 sets of hard rock live band karaoke, which will be interesting. That's always a fun gig. If you're in the LA area, you should come, because this dude Michael that owns the place is doing a whole bunch of barbecue. There's going to be a full bar, the whole deal, and then we're going to be playing some rock and roll music.
Nice.
Be fun for the kids. Actually, Summer NAMM is coming soon. We should have a Summer NAMM speculation episode coming soon, and then
next week
episode as well.
A what?
And then a recap episode as well. We'll milk that Summer NAMM for all it's worth.
And what about Summer NAMBLA?
I'll be there.
All right, very good.
Yeah,
all right, folks. We'll see you next time. Very good.
All right, later, everyone.
You're listening to Guitar Talk with Dave and John.